Assalamu alaikum students. In the last lecture, we were studying about the list. We studied that how we can create the list and how we can change the items or access the items in the list. We also learned that how we can use a for loop to iterate through a list, and we practice some inbuilt methods like how we can find the items in the list, how we can remove or add the items in the list. Okay, so today we will study about the tuples, sets, and dictionaries. Okay, so we will see what is the similarities and differences between the list and tuples, and we will practice some inbuilt methods which are used for the tuples and sets. Okay, first of all, we will see what is tuple. Tuple is basically a collection of different items which is ordered and unchangeable. Okay, when we were discussing about the list, we said that it is an ordered and a changeable list. Okay, this means the difference between the tuples and list is that the tuples are unchangeable. Okay, and how we can identify that these are tuples in Python? The tuples are written with the round brackets, and basically the tuples are used to group together some related data. For example, we want to add the person's name, their age, their gender, then we can create the tuple for this, and we assign all the elements to the tuple using a single assignment statement. Okay, tuple assignment occurs simultaneously rather than in sequence, making it useful for the swapping value. Okay, the list and tuples, they store one and more objects or values in the specific order. The objects stored in a list or tuple can be of any type, like we have discussed in the list, that we can store any type of the items in the list. Similarly, for tuples, the rule is same. We can store any object with any type. For example, we can add the objects with we can add the items which has the data type float data type, string data type, or even we can add the integer data type. Okay, but when we are creating tuples, we can also create the tuples without any value. For example, we want to create a tuple without any value, then we will define that as a none keyword. Okay, so this means a tuple is created by placing all the elements inside the parentheses separated by commas. Okay, parentheses are optional, but how it is a good practice to use them. So we learned the list and tuples, they are used to store some one or more objects in a specific order. Then what is the difference between list and tuples? Why we need to use the tuples? Let's see what is the difference between list and tuples. List and tuples, they are very similar in most contexts, but there are some differences. First of all, we will see what is the syntax difference. The syntax of the list and tuple is slightly different. Lists are surrounded by the square brackets, but the tuples are surrounded by the parentheses. For example, this is the example of a tuple and a list. This list underscore num is actually a list which is surrounded by the square brackets. And this is the tuple which is surrounded by the round brackets. Okay, so when we will print these two values, we will get the same output. For example, the output will be 1, 2, 3, and 4, because both the list and the tuple, they have the same items. So this means how we can identify the difference. In Python, we have a type function. We can find out that what is the difference between these two by using this type function. If we write the type by list of num and we use the type function for the tuple underscore num, this means this is the list and this is the tuple, and we are using the type function to find out what is the difference. We will get the output that first one is the list and second one is the tuple. Okay, there is another major difference between the list and tuples, that lists are mutables but tuples are immutable. Lists have the mutable nature. This means list can be changed or modified after its creation according to the needs, whereas the tuple has an immutable nature. This means the tuples cannot be changed or modified after its creation. For example, in case we want to modify some item in the list versus tuple, okay, in the list we will simply access the any item by its index number, and we can change the value at its index number. For example, we can see in this line of code that we are assigning the value 5, okay, to the list at the index number 2. When we will print this number, then definitely this will be replaced, the second item, this means the item, third item, which is at the index number 2, will be replaced by 5. But if we will try to do the same thing with the tuples, it will not accept this. Okay, in case we are trying to do this, for example, tuple at the index number 2, we are want to assign the value 5. This means we want to overwrite the value. It will give the type error because the tuple objects cannot support the item assignments. Okay, so this thing is not allowed in the tuple. So this is the very basic difference between list and tuples. Okay, similarly, in case we cannot add the items in the tuples after its creation, so similarly, as the tuples are unchangeable, we cannot remove the items for it, but we can delete the tuple completely. For example, in this code, we have created a tuple and it has 3 items. This means these are the names of the fruit. For example, apple, banana, and cherry. We cannot add or remove the items. Okay, we cannot simply write that this tuple dot append, okay, and we cannot add this tuple dot remove. If we will try to do this, it will give the error, but we can simply delete the complete tuple. For example, we have used the keyword del. Okay, by this keyword we can delete this complete tuple. For this is the tuple and we have deleted this tuple. When we will try to print this tuple, it will give an error because this tuple no longer exists. Okay. Okay, there's another very important point to note down here, that we can, if we want to create a tuple with only one item, okay, so create a tuple with only one item, we have to add the comma after the item. Otherwise, Python will not recognize it as a tuple. For example, in this code, we have created a tuple with only one item, but we have added a comma after that in this item. So when we will try to print the type of this tuple, it will give that it is a tuple. In case we will try to add this item without the comma and we will find out that what is the type of this tuple, it will give the error that it is not a tuple. Okay, it will not recognize this as a tuple. So remember that we always have to add the comma after the item if we are creating a tuple with only one item. Okay. Another difference between the tuple and list is that the list has more built-in functions than that of the tuples. For example, we can check that how many functions are available for the list, and similarly, we can check how many functions are available for tuple. For example, we have a directory function. We can check the directory of the list. It will give the list of all the inbuilt functions which are used for the list. Similarly, we can use a directory function for the tuples, and we can see that how many inbuilt functions are available for tuples. We will see that there are so many additional functionalities associated with the list over the tuple. We can do insert and the pop operations and remove and sorting elements in the list, but these are not available for the tuples. Okay. So tuples operations has smaller size than that, and another point is that tuples operation has smaller size than that of the list, which make it a bit faster. But these are only used for the with the greater number of lists. Okay. Okay, tuples have the different use case. Tuples are extremely useful data structures. Using a tuple instead of a list can give the programmer or the interpreter a hint that the data which is included in the tuple, it should not be changed. Okay, so tuples are commonly used as equivalent of a dictionary without the keys to the stored data, as the dictionaries are basically that data structure which use the key and value functions. So we can see here we have used the square brackets. This means we are using the list with the tuples inside. Okay, so in this case we can read the data. Reading the data becomes very simpler, and the tuples are when the tuples are stored within a list. For example, we can see in this piece of code we have created the two lists, or we have created one list with 3 tuples or 4 tuples. Okay, and similarly if we create a list with the 4th list, in this case this thing is more readable. So this rule, or we can use this method, it will make the data more readable. Okay. Okay, now we have discussed basically the what is the difference between list and tuple. Now we will see how we can create a tuple or access the tuple items. Creating a tuple is very simple. We have discussed that simply you will write the name of the tuple and we can add the values by which are separated by the commas. When we will print this, it will give the output as it is. Okay, so when we will access the set tuple items, we can access by the index item, because tuples are also, they are unchangeable but they are indexed. Okay, so this means in case we want to access the first item or the second item, for example, we want to access the second item in the tuple, and the tuple has 3 values. That is, this tuple has basically the names of the fruits. First is apple, banana, and cherry. When we will try to print the tuple with the index number 1, and the index number 1 shows that a second item. Okay, so it will print the, here the output will be banana, because banana is actually the second item of this tuple with the index number 1. Okay. Okay, recall that whenever we wanted to print some range of items from the list, we have used the slicing method. This means we have used the range of index number. Similarly, we can specify the range of index by specifying that what is the start and what is the end of this range. Okay, so we can actually use this method in the tuple as well. When specifying a range, the return value will be the new tuple with the specified items. For example, in this case, the task is to return the 3rd, 4th, and 5th item. Okay, this is a long, we can say this is the tuple with the with many items. Let's see, we can count. This is the item at the index number 0. This is that index number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It has 6 index number. This means total, in total it has 7 items. So this tuple has 7 items, and we want to print the 3rd, 4th, and 5th item. This means we will start with the index number 2. Okay, and we will go till the 5th item. This means we will go till the index number 4. But add, whenever we use the range, we use the first item as the first item which we need to be accessed, and the last item is not included. That's why we have used the index number 5, because 5 is not included. The last item that will be returned according to this code, that will be the item with the index number 4. This means it will print cherry, orange, and kiwi. Okay. And whenever, okay, negative indexing. Negative indexing means basically the beginning from the end. In case we want to access the items from the end of the list, then end of the tuples, so we will use the negative indexing, which is also used in the index in the list as well. For example, in this case, if we want to access the last items, we will refer to the -1. -1 means it will refer to the last item, and if we will use the -2, it will refer to the second last item into the in the tuple. Okay, so this means the we can also use the range of the negative indexes. For example, the negative indexes, if we want to start the search from the end of the tuple. Okay, in this example where we are using the index number, that is from -4 to the index number -1. So this means it will start with the -4 and it will end in -2, because -1 will be excluded, because this is the range of the tuple. Okay, or we can say index number. For example, here we want to print the last item of the tuple. So this is a tuple with the 3 items, and we will print the tuple with the index number -1. This means it will print the last item. You can see it has printed the cherry. And similarly, this is a long tuple which has many we can say 6 or 7 items, and we want to print from -4 till 1. This means it will start with the -4 and it will end till the -2, because -1 will not be included. So let's count. In case this is -1, this is -2, this is -3, and this is -4. This means it will print orange, kiwi, and melon. -1 is excluded. This means the mango will not be printed. Okay. Okay, tuples, we can also calculate the length of the tuple because we have the length method for this purpose. For example, this is a tuple and we can use simply the length method on this name of this tuple. For example, the name of this tuple was this tuple and we have added the 3 elements. We can simply print the length of this tuple. We can see it has the 3 elements, so it will print the length of this tuple as 3. Okay. There are some other inbuilt methods which are used for the tuples. For example, count method. So what does the count do? Actually, the count return the number of times a specified value occur in a tuple. What is the syntax of this count function? We can simply use the tuple name, dot operator, and count function, and we will give the value what to which we want to count and how many times it is appeared in the tuple. Okay, for example, here this is a tuple and it has many values and we want to count it how many times this value, which is equal to 5. Okay, so we will count how many times the 5 is repeated in this tuple. So we will simply use, and we can assign this to the some other variable. For example, we are assigning this value to the x, so it will give the number. Here in this tuple it is repeated 2 times, so it will give the output as 2. Okay, similarly there's another method which is used for the tuple, that is index. Okay, whenever we want to find out that what that some item is at which place, means we want to find out the index number, or we want to find out the position of some item, we can simply use the index function. For example, we are using the same tuple with the same values and we are using the index function. So we will use the tuple name, dot operator, index function with that value, or the we can say which is actually passed as a parameter. For example, here we want to find out the position of the item, that is 8. Okay, so we will simply write this as this tuple dot index 8. Okay, so it will print the index number. Basically it has 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. This means it will print the 8 index number. Okay. Okay, as we have iterate through the loop, iterate over the list through the loop, similarly we can use the loop through the tuple as well. We can loop through the tuple items by using the for loop. For example, this is the tuple with the three items. We can use the for loop. Okay, we can use for x in this tuple, it will print all the items. Okay, similarly it will print the apple, banana, and cherry. And in case we want to print, we want to check that if there is some item that exists in this tuple, we can simply use the find method. For example, as we have used in the list, for example, we want to find if the apple is present in the tuple, we will simply use the if statement and it will return the value in the form of the Boolean value, that is true or false. For example, we want to find the apple, we will write if apple is in this tuple, because this tuple is the name of that tuple, and it will give the value yes, so we will run this statement. In case it will give the value false, then we can simply run the else value. Okay. Okay, now let's discuss about the sets. Sets are also a collection which is unordered and unindexed. So what is the difference? This is unordered and unindexed. Okay, we have discussed about the list and tuples that they are indexed. The sets are not indexed and they are unordered. This means in the Python, sets are written. Okay, find the how can we identify the sets? Sets are written with the curly brackets. We can see that this is a set. We have created a set with the 3 same item, but we have used the curly brackets. When we will print this, it will give the it will print the all three values. But note down this is a very important point to note down here, that sets are unordered. Okay, so this means when we will print these items, we are not sure that in which order these items will appear because the sets are unordered. Okay. Okay, how we can access the items in the sets, as these are unindexed. Okay, we cannot access the items by referring to an index number because the sets are the collection of items which are unindexed. But we can loop through the sets using the for loop. For example, here we can use this is a set with the three items. We can simply use the loop for this set. We are not using the index number, it will simply print the three values. Okay, but we cannot access through the index numbers in the case of the set. Okay, and whenever we want to add the items to the okay, let's see how we can add the items to the sets. Once a set is created, we cannot change each item because we cannot simply, this means we cannot add the new items. Okay, so add one item to the set, we use the add method. To add more than one items in to a set, we use the update method. For example, we want to add an item, we will use the add method. This is a set and we will use the name of this set, and then we will use dot operator and we use the add method and we will insert the orange. So this will add the orange in the same set. Similarly, in case we want to add the multiple items, we can use the update method. For example, we are using the name of this set, and then we are using the dot operator and then the update method. Okay, so in this case we can add the multiple, we can see that we are actually adding the three items in the same list. Okay, so when we will print this, it will print these three and these, it will add the then it will print the 6 items in this set. Okay, but they will be unordered as because we have discussed that the sets are unordered. Okay, similarly, we can remove the item in the list, but we cannot remove as we have used the remove method in the list. Okay, to remove an item in the set, we use the discard method. We can remove the banana by using the discard method. For example, this is the set and we want to remove one item from this set. We will simply use a discard method. Okay, we will use the name of this set, dot operator and discard method, and we will give the name of the item, what we actually want to remove from the set. Okay, so it will print the set with the 2 items by excluding the this banana. Okay, and remember that we cannot use the pop method what we have used in the list, because the pop method is actually, it returns the value by removing the last item. So as we know that the set is they are unordered, so when we will try to use the pop method to remove an item, but it will not remove the last item, because when we will use this method, we don't know that what item is actually removed. So whenever we want to remove item, it is preferred to use the discard method for sets. Okay, similarly, we can use the clear method in case we want to empty the set. For example, this is a set, it has 3 items, we can use the clear method. What will be the result? In case we use the clear method and we will print this set, it will give the empty set. Okay, but the delete keyword, if we will use the delete keyword to remove all the items in the set, it will delete the set completely. For example, in this case, we are using the delete. It has actually delete this set from the database. Okay, so we can see when we will try to after deleting this set, when we will try to print the set, it will give the error. What is the error? That the name this set is not defined. This means why is it giving this error? Because this set no longer exists. Okay, so whenever we want to remove, we will use a discard method, and we want to empty the set, we will use the clear method, and if we want to delete the set completely, we will use the delete method. Okay, and we will use the delete keyword. Okay, this is the end of our lecture. In the next lecture, we will discuss about the functions, and we will discuss that how a function is defined in Python and how we can call a function which is actually defined. So we will discuss about the user defined functions. Okay, in the lab session, we will practice with the tuples and sets and dictionaries. Okay, so Allah Hafiz.